Gary Bell, aka the Doctor of Doom, with Fishman, Dave Rivera.
What's going on, dudes?
SEMA 2010. A couple questions for you, Dave. How long have you been installing?
Around 20 years.
20 years. Any formal training, or did you just learn it all? You made it up as you went along?
I was, as a kid in Puerto Rico, I was really poor, so I was always working with my hands, building my own toys. My G.I. Joes, I used to do my own clothing. I had a whole town with Hot Wheel cars, and since a little kid, I was always fixing bicycles and stuff. So when I first made a delivery to a shop 21 years ago, and I saw this beautiful install, I was hooked, and I said, this is what I want to do. And I've been doing it within the first year. I took first place at Oscar Finals, got featured in CarAudio Magazine. My first car, it was in CarAudio Magazine, and I've never stopped since.
What was your first car?
It was an '89 SR5 Corolla, and the fish tank in this thing was like this big. It was ported, so the base went through the fish tank, and it just, history began. I mean, I took that thing to Oklahoma City in 1991. And Bill Neal, which used to be the editor of CarAudio Magazine at the time, wouldn't give me the time of day in the phone. So when he finally saw the car, he didn't realize that I was a crazy Puerto Rican that I've called him 3 months ago. So I recognized him, and I went up to him. I was like, hey, you Bill Neal? Oh, yes. It was kind of anal, tall, goofy looking, So he seen the car. Oh, this is very impressive. I was like, yeah, I'm the same crazy Puerto Rican that called you like 3 months ago. You wouldn't give me the time of day. But you know what I did? This was good. I started messing with him and the other editors of the other magazines. I started getting free drinks and stuff like that. I started bluffing. The bottom line is I wanted CarAudio to do the feature, and I did. So.
What was the first piece of car audio equipment you bought? What brand?
It was my first, it was a Pioneer, 4-channel, 2 acoustic amps, so the total 3 amplifiers, 3 MTX12s, Boston acoustic, I can't believe I remember everything, 2 Boston acoustic plates in the back, and MB quartz in front. So my first system ever with no knowledge, it wasn't just like your radio and stuff like that. I mean, it was a pretty big system. So you know what I did? Since I had no knowledge, I took the phone book, and every single shop that they had number, what I did is I called every shop with a different question. So each shop I called with a different question, and can we believe in 5 days, I did my first system, and I turned it on, and it played. Huey Lewis, How to Rock and Roll was the song that was playing. At the time, I remember like it was, yes, it gives goosebumps thinking about it. And this was in January that I mentioned, at about 5 degrees in the street in Boston.
Who's the person that's taught you the most about car audio? Anybody you've learned from, or you?
To be honest, I don't want to sound like I'm being cocky or nothing like that, but there's really nobody has taught me anything. Like I might have picked up, like a little bit here and there because I've worked with so many guys, so but I cannot specifically say, oh no, I've learned everything because my idol, the guy that I look up to so much is Steve Brown, and I wanted to be like him. So yes, I've learned everything from Steve Brown, my king, Superman.
Usually at this point, I ask most other installers who they look to for inspiration.
You know what? Let me rephrase that. Yeah, there were a couple of guys. Mark Fukuda, at the time, he was ahead of his time. So yeah, Mark Fukuda, Brian Smith, when he built that Rockford truck, I just told him yesterday, for me, it's still the baddest install ever. For me, that's my opinion. And the guy that used to do the Rockford cars before him, I forget the guy's name.
Mark Lowe.
Yeah, Mark Lowe. Those guys were ahead of their time, and I was able to pick up some stuff from them, and that's about it.